In the off chance you've never heard of my reviews before, or any of my reviews before, let me state for the record that I hate the ocean, 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 I hate the ocean! Now that that's out of the way, underwater. What do you get when you take the abyss, add a bit of Lovecraftian horror, and the plot of a Doctor Who episode from the Capaldi era? Basically, this movie. It's short, sweet, and to the point. It doesn't bog down itself in overly dramatic backstories or just filler. It gets right to the action. And honestly, it was refreshing. It was just 90 minutes of fun. The cast is pretty good. Kristen Stewart, T.J. Miller, and a few others do very well as the crew of a resource drill rig in one of Earth's deep trenches. And then when things go sideways, they desperately cling to life. And their struggle is very compelling. Kristen Stewart especially has definitely shed her Twilight awkwardness. Not to mention most of her hair. Honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if her character was nicknamed Sinead O'Connor, Jr. But other than that, she and the rest of the cast did very well as a bunch of desperate people who are trying to survive in the worst conditions this side of space. Like I said before, the horror element is very, very, very Lovecraftian. Like, on the nose Lovecraftian. The creatures, while obviously depicting the deep ones of the Cthulhu mythos, they're also very biologically sound. Their flesh is translucent, and they can swallow stuff like anglerfish and other deep dwellers. And while they don't have any bioluminescence, they just look like something that developed under deep, immense pressure and complete blackness in the ocean. And then we get to the big bad, which, yeah, I'm going to spoil it here. It's basically Cthulhu on steroids. And even that, despite it looking very alien, looked kind of biologically sound. It just looked like a bigger version of the little creatures. The CG on display here is fuzzy, but you're underwater, so it's supposed to be a little fuzzy. It sort of helped the animation, I think. Nothing looked too crisp. It was all very dingy. It was the technology on display of the facility was futuristic, but not unfeasibly futuristic. Like, this movie could take place between 5 and 20 years in the future, to be honest. This stuff looked legit. The creatures looked legit and Lovecraftian and awesome, and while it doesn't go into any detail about anything, the movie actually sets up for its own universe. And I would not say no to seeing this story continued in some form. Because it did kind of sequel beg, but overall it's a self-contained story that is worth at least one look, especially if you are afraid of the ocean. This will definitely be a film where you are holding your breath for like 90 plus minutes. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Uh, Good cast, good effects, uh, good looking tech. Um, just a pretty decent self contained horror flick that I think is um, slightly better than its January time slot, I think. You know, what you usually put in a January time slot. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, for crying out loud, would you stop going in the ocean? It is death. Hashtag stay dry.